Welcome to P-Guide. This is the dashboard that you will see every time you log into the website. You will always be greeted by this pop-up that shows you any urgent tasks that need to be completed because they're either due today or overdue. The dashboard will show below here. It appears blank right now, but don't worry, there are plenty of tasks coming once the recommended timeline starts. P-Guide is automatically populated with a bunch of tasks throughout the application cycle to help keep you on track and not missing any deadlines. And then most of these tasks can be edited by you in terms of the start and end date, except the official deadlines by the AMCAS program. All of the tasks will be color-coded so that you know if you're on track, if they're due soon or even overdue, and this dashboard will also hold any upcoming interviews, letter of recommendation deadlines, and secondary essays. Whenever something is marked as completed, it will gray out so that you can visually see what has been done and what has yet to be done. You can also visualize that through this circle up here, which will show the percentage complete, as well as this breakdown showing what's been done in progress, not started, and overdue. You can also visualize your tasks under the task tab. Here you can see all the tasks that are already populated into P-Guide, but you can add anything that's not included, such as school-specific deadlines. So we'll just do a test for today so I can show you what that looks like. And we'll add that task. You'll see it pop up down here, and then if we go to our dashboard, you'll also see it in the dashboard, color-coded yellow because it's due today. So that's what the task tab looks like. These are the hubs that you will most likely use throughout the application cycle. Starting with the rank list builder, this is where you're going to create your rank list or the list of schools that you're wanting to apply to. Obviously, if you know which one right away, you can go ahead and add them. I went to Rush Medical College, so I'm going to go ahead and add that one. It auto-populates with all the statistics of the program, so we'll go ahead and add that to my rank list. If you need a little bit of help and are still exploring programs, you can go ahead and click Explore, and it will show you a big table of all the programs and some basic stats. You can also filter by region, class size, MCAT score, GPA, and tuition to better find schools that will fit you. Or you can use this AI Fit tool by plugging in your GPA and your MCAT score and your region preference. It uses a scoring system to take into consideration your scores and your region preference to come up with school matches that may fit you best and ones that you should look further into. So once you come up with your list of schools, they will show in the rank list hub, and we'll probably have a lot more than just one, but just for example purposes, I'll just keep Rush. But if we have a whole list, we can mark the ones that we think are in our top 15 to 20, and then the ones we intend to apply to, and then say later down the road we eventually apply, so we can go ahead and click that button. You'll get a pop-up that congratulates you for applying and let you know that this program was added to your secondary application hub and your interview hub. Any school that you apply to, you will likely anticipate getting a secondary from, and hopefully an interview. So we'll go over those two hubs in a little bit, but first, the letter of rec hub will likely come first. This is where you're going to keep track of those letters of recs. So let's say we worked with Dr. Smith and he was a mentor for us. We recommend getting letters of rec submitted early to mid-May to make sure everything stays on track. So you follow recommendations and you ask him to submit it by May 1st because you're on top of things. So we requested it, and Dr. Smith wrote back and he said he would love to write you a letter of recommendation. And so you sent him the information that he needs, which we recommend being a CV, or resume, transcript, or list of grades, and then a final or near final draft of your personal statement. And then once that letter of rec is eventually submitted later down the road, then you can go ahead and mark that off, and so that task will be completed. And don't forget to send your thank you letter. This hub also has some email templates. Sometimes asking for a letter of recommendation can be a little nerve-wracking, just wording it right and knowing that it does take them a lot of time, and it is kind of a big ask. So here's just an example of kind of how to word things and what to include so that it makes their lives as easy as possible. The Activities Hub is where you can log all of your activities. All of this data is going to be asked for on the AMCAS application, so by plugging everything in here, you'll be ready to go when the application actually opens. If a specific activity is one that is most meaningful to you, then you can go ahead and check this button, and then obviously explain more about why it was most meaningful to you, which will also be required on the official application. The next hub, as I mentioned, is that secondary application. So like I said, any school that you click Apply to in the Rank List Builder hub will show in the secondary application hub. Whenever you receive a secondary, you can mark it. So let's just say we happen to get one today, and the deadline will auto-populate within 14 days. We recommend returning the secondary within 7 to 14 days, just to stay on track and competitive. Here you can also include the prompt, so we'll just make one up, as well as keep track of the theme. This one doesn't really fit into the ones listed here. The reason it's important to keep track of the theme is sometimes schools use very similar questions, and you can reuse at least the skeleton of prior essays that you've written. So if you get another school in the future who asks a similar question to one that you had in the past, you can usually look at your themes and pick out which essays you can kind of tweak again, just to save yourself some time. And then once you complete it, you can go ahead and check that box, but let's say we haven't done it yet. Actually, let's say we have. So we submitted our secondary, and now we're waiting for that interview. This timeline isn't very realistic, but let's just say it's December 18th now, and they offered us an interview in just a couple weeks on the 31st, and it's at 7 a.m. and it's virtual. So you can put the link here, and then you can write any pre-interview notes that you have, either on wanting to remember the mission of the school, or if you know who you're going to be interviewing with, if you did some research on them, things that you can connect with them. And then after the interview, you can write your thoughts here just to keep everything organized. So we'll go ahead and update that interview. And let's say it's now December 31st and we completed the interview, so we can mark that as complete. Again, it will congratulate us, and it will let us know that this school has now been added to our decision tracker. Obviously, any schools that you interview at, you're going to expect a decision from, which is why it auto-populates here. And so once we hear from Rush, we can go ahead and change that decision status, but we'll just say it's still pending for now. We haven't heard from them. So that's a brief overview of the hubs. Other tools on P-Guide, under this resource tab, you'll get all these links, just ones that you'll commonly use throughout the application cycle, so it's a nice place just to have everything there. And then the application guide is just a brief overview of how to use P-Guide. The school research button is just bringing you back to that table that helps you research other programs. And then frequently asked questions, just to hopefully answer any questions that you may have. But if you have any additional ones, you can use Guide, which is our AI chat that you can ask any postgraduate application questions to, and hopefully that will also provide you assistance that you need. So that is a brief overview of P-Guide. I hope you find it helpful, and I wish you the best of luck in the application cycle. I hope this website makes the whole thing a little bit less stressful and more seamless for you. So best of luck and take care.